Welcome. It's Mark from Apprentice 121, and I appreciate it's been quite a while since I've dropped a podcast out on the channel. Really, just to do with being busy in the day job. We've had a lot of work going on, and I was expecting to be off work for a few weeks while I had stuff going on at home. That didn't end up happening, so I've been scrambling trying to fill the diary and keep busy with things ready to be off a little bit later in the year instead. We've also had the Apprentice 121 Academy building up in the background and the link up with colleges throughout the UK. There's a lot of exciting stuff going on there. Schneider are involved, and I've been helping put them in touch with colleges around the UK to try and get some equipment donated over to them to build up their test labs and things that they can offer to students in a similar way to what we did at Walthamstow College when we went down and helped Craig Boost and his learners and lecturers for the day. So a massive shout out to Craig for sowing that seed into my mind and giving me the experience of coming along to see what a powerful thing that was to do close up. And yeah, that's the idea with this, that maybe 10 to 12 colleges through the course of the year we can get out to work alongside the lecturers and learners, installing some brilliant products and giving them an opportunity to build their knowledge and skills in new and improved lab areas for the students, thanks to the kindness of some of the industry manufacturers. And as I say, Schneider are involved with that, so it's fantastic to have their support. And also, as I will lead on to later on in this podcast, they are also putting on some podcasts about the changes that are coming with the wiring regulations, and they've invited me to be a part of that, which is a huge privilege for me. I'm really looking forward to it. Anything that I can do that might help apprentices understand what these regulation changes might mean to them is an absolute pleasure of mine. So really excited to be involved with that, and that's coming soon. I did just want to touch on National Apprenticeship Week, which is the 7th of February 2022. So this is the week prior to that. Now I'm going to release this the day I'm recording it, so it's Wednesday, and I've been getting a few messages on social media about people wanting to donate equipment in to give away to apprentices. That's gone on since Eddie Clemens started that back in early 2020 with his MFT donation. Literally hundreds and hundreds of people since then have come forward wanting to pass stuff on into apprentices' hands, and Apprentice 121 has been a great conduit to make that happen. It's been one of the privileges of doing that for myself, just to witness close up the kindness of other people to just want to help apprentices. That's absolutely mind-blowing, really. And because of what happened with National Apprenticeship Week in 2021, people have remembered, and it seems to have picked up again to another level over the course of the last couple of weeks. So thinking back to 2021, we had stuff from Super Rod, TIS, Ideal. I can't think of all of the brands, but there was a few who came forward. Sockets, safety shields as well, and put a bit of stuff up to pass on to apprentices. And we had a lot of fun that week with some podcasts from myself, Rick, Neil and Sam, where we got involved and did a few through the course of that week and donated loads of equipment over to apprentices. It was absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It's going to be a little bit different this year. Just too busy to do a podcast every day, to be totally truthful. But we still want to make an effort to support apprentices through the course of that week. And we're going to do some giveaways over on Instagram. So again, got some manufacturers involved, and I'll speak a bit more about that through the course of that week. And if you're watching this now and you want to get involved yourselves, please get in touch with me. The more the merrier. We want to try and do as much as we can for apprentices. If we can be involved or share your own giveaways, let me know about them. It'd be an absolute pleasure to do that. The more opportunity we give to people who are in need of that support and help, the better. And if you want to do giveaway alongside us, hit me up anytime. You can find my details on Apprentice 121 on Instagram, Electrician 24/7 on Twitter, and obviously Mark Allison on LinkedIn, Mark Sparky Allison on YouTube. And yeah, love to have you on board. But it's the donations of individuals themselves which has really brought a smile to my face. Last night over on Twitter, somebody who I'd never had any communication with before just popped up and said they'd like to give away a DeWalt drill driver. So it just blows your mind, really. So I'm going to spin that round into shot now, just to show you how some of that happens. Why is that screen showing that way around? That is very peculiar. Let me switch that around again, because I've obviously very badly edited that in. There we go. So that's showing my editing skills at their finest there. I'm not going to cut that out because that's just going to cause me more editing. But you'll see there, that's a poster from over on Twitter. I dropped out about it being National Apprenticeship Week, and we've got a fair bit of equipment to pass into apprentices' hands. Just asking if anyone else would like to be involved. So that's me reaching out to see if other people would want to give away some equipment alongside us. And Matthew Johnson dropped up offering an 18 volt DeWalt combi drill driver with a 5 amp battery and charger. So how incredible is that? You know, that was a really nice message to get, and that's now with us, so we can pop that into the giveaways next week and do a bit of that. I thought that was really nice, so thank you very much, Matthew, if you are watching this. I know you said you're not really involved in the social media space, so you probably aren't watching this. And then again, over on LinkedIn, if I look on my profile, I dropped a post out here about giving away some equipment again, similar sort of post, but different platform. And Andrew Clark came forward offering some bits and pieces. Jamie Fisher, the absolute legend and superstar of the trade, now he's BBC famous. He said he'd be up for doing that as well. And one of his colleagues messaged me. I won't show you that because it was a direct message, and I don't like sharing direct messages that people are sending over to me. It's a bit unclassy. He offered some crimping kits, some voltage indicators, and some other bits and pieces that they're sending in as well. So absolutely incredible. And that's individual electricians just wanting to be nice to help apprentices in their progress and show a bit of support is incredible. It is amazing. So alongside some of the brands and manufacturers, we're going to drop those on giveaways on Instagram. I am going to mention them on all of my social media platforms as well. I often do the giveaways on Instagram because that's where the huge bulk of apprentices tend to be in contact with me and following the apprentice one-to-one stuff. But I don't want to exclude people on other platforms, so we'll work something out on that as well. I'm going to be covering it on my YouTube channel, so we can get a bit of coverage there as well for the people who've offered some support to apprentices and talk about how we can help encourage people to develop as the high-skilled electricians we need in the future through the course of apprenticeships. Because it's not just about giving away equipment. You know, that's something that's nice to do through the course of that week and give back a little bit to apprentices. But obviously it's all about encouraging that for the future, wanting to show people the successful careers they can build for themselves in the electrical industry and how you can have a great start to that by doing an apprenticeship. So it's all about promoting the huge benefits of being electrical apprentices and showing some support to colleges, lecturers, learners and employers across the UK, and kind of referencing back onto some of the success and difficulties in all of that. And we'll be doing some of that as well. Also, while we're on this, I wanted to talk about this. So the wiring regulations, the Blue Book, the 18th edition, is changing. So for those of you who have been following along with that, we had the draft for public comment, and by all accounts that's now been sorted out, and the version amendment 2, so it's going to be a brown book, is due for publication on the 28th of March, I think it is, end of March anyway, somewhere around that time. And there's going to be a few changes in there. Primarily it looks to be around the inclusion of a prosumer section, and also with AFDDs becoming a shall on certain circuits and in certain locations. Still an unknown. But obviously if you're going through the course of your apprentice training, a change of regulations is quite a big deal. There'll be more stuff to learn ultimately. You'll get a taste of that. I've had that since I started way back when on the 16th edition. You know, if they didn't call these things amendments, we'd probably be on edition 100 and something by now. But they kind of do the amendments, I think, to make it seem like they're not changing as often as they are. So we've got those coming, and yeah, it's going to be a brown book. Obviously there'll be brown stripes on all your Guidance Note 3 books and your other guidance documents as well. I've got all of those. If you've got a team of people who work for you, the digital editions are a great way to save some money. You know, it does get very expensive if you're having to buy a few copies of this for members of your team and stuff, and we all work from iPads generally now, don't we? So that tends to be the route we take as a company, but I will always maintain my little library of books just because I'm a bit of a nerd like that, I guess, and I like to have the physical book in my hands. I find it nicer. I don't know why, if that's just a kind of generational thing, but yeah, I like to have the book myself. And also, while I speak about that, we've got the old code breakers, so even your little additional resources like that, and code breakers is a fantastic document, by the way. It's not how to, it's not this is what that code is, it's just a guide. But the thing, as Ricky Howell often says, that's brilliant about this book is it will point you at the regulation where it's coming to the conclusion that that's the code they're recommending. So you can very easily go off and see if you think that's the way that should be interpreted in the big blue brown book. But yeah, that's going to get an update with the brown stripe as well. So lots of change coming, so keep your eyes out for that one. As I said a little bit earlier on in the podcast, I've been approached by Schneider to be involved with some of the podcasts they've got planned around that, specifically aimed at apprentices, and I'm really looking forward to get involved with that once this is in place and released for everybody to see. I've not seen what the Amendment 2 actually is. Of course I haven't. It's not anything like the 28th of March, but you know, obviously I assume that people on the committees and stuff have now decided on what it is, and it's probably going through spell checking and publication, so they've got enough volume ready to ship out to Sparks for the end of March. So whatever it is now set, and we'll have to wait and see, but just want to be aware of. Yeah, it's coming, and if you're going through the course of your training, be ready to pick up some of the differences that you're going to see between the Blue Book and Amendment 2 Brown Book. Otherwise, thank you for bearing with me through the course of this podcast. I'll try and get some more interesting content soon. Jamie Fisher, I was speaking with him last week, and we might be doing something along the lines of test and inspection, possibly on the Apprentice 1-to-1 podcast. Possibly that might help apprentices, who knows. We'll see how that develops. I'm up for doing anything with anybody. As you know, you'll see me on Monday Club and the Electrician Show very often, and now also hopefully going to be on Schneider soon. So yeah, I'll just podcast wherever anyone wants me to, and if Jamie wants to come and do something on here, that would be sensational, because he's a very entertaining character who is very knowledgeable on these things. And if you haven't checked out his channel on YouTube, I will link it in the description to this one, and you can go off and check him out. He is a lecturer and works in the industrial commercial sector as well, so great person to go off and follow. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I will see you all on the next episode of the Apprentice 1-to-1 podcast, which hopefully isn't weeks and weeks and weeks away like this one was. If you have got any events planned in your college for National Apprenticeship Week, get involved with them, support your lecturers and your colleges if they're actually doing something to recognise that week. If you are still struggling to find employment or having difficulties in your training, reach out on any of the social media platforms, or you can email me, mark@apprentice1to1.co.uk, and as always, I will do my best to help. Otherwise, catch you on the next one.